I am pleased to pay tribute to Linda Ligon, to weaving, to publishing, to friendship, and to two young women, circa 1974, connected by an embryonic fascination with weaving that gradually turned into a passion not for just warmth and weft, but for communication, to share the wonder of the world that had opened up to us, ultimately the world of textiles that all that leads to. We probably seemed strange to others at the time, as weavers often do, but our world made complete sense to us, and it would be completely strange to contemplate life without this tremendous enrichment. Linda is kind enough to say I taught her to weave, but I suspect we taught each other. Another strange thing about weavers, eager to share their latest enlightenment, obscure to most, illuminating to them. I know that Linda's success in publishing taught me that a person could start up her own magazine, and that's just what I did eventually, resulting in Textile Fiber Forum, now 30 years old. I mentioned embryonic in the first sentence. It's especially appropriate since one of my last acts before leaving Loveland was to drive Linda to the hospital as Day was soon to be born. I didn't know I was going to stay in Australia. I barely knew where it was, but I love the notion of beginnings and endings, cycles and change, and following a road to see where it will lead. Over huge distances, Linda and I have shared a journey, and she may never have realized how much her humor and intelligence guided me, not to mention her publications. I salute my friend forever, Linda Ligon. Janet Deborah, Order of Australia Medal, CEO of the Australian Forum for Textile Arts Ltd, and editor of Textile Fiber Forum. So, thank you, Janet. Sure. Thank you. So now I got to deal with the technology thing. Just a second. While that is kind of doing its thing, I want to thank again my wonderful committee, because this would not have happened without Wheezy and Gail and Priscilla and Linda. All these people made this happen, so thank you all for your help. And I think we should also thank the library slush fund. So there's not many guilds in the world that have a slush fund, but we do, and it's a wonderful thing. So every year we have a book and magazine sale. People bring all their old things they don't want, and we sell them, and that benefits the library. And they use some of this money to have special events, and this is one of the events funded by the Guild Library. So Gail and Madelyn and Carol Lehman, Kathy Gully, and Sally Kuhn, thank you. So Ann Bliss, who Linda talked about, was a member of our guild and was very instrumental in some of the first goings on at Interweave. And she couldn't be here today because she's in Chile. So she sent a little video address.
Hi everybody, my name is Ann Bliss, and I'm a longtime colleague of Linda, and I'm very happy to be here today with you by virtual vision. I'm actually in Talca, Chile, where I'm working right now, so I'm sorry I can't be there in person. We have a really wonderful community of people who are working with their hands. The old traditional crafts didn't get lost. I think Linda and I were both aware that there was some kind of revival of using hands to make wonderful, beautiful things, and that's really what we did. So on behalf of all of us, really, and especially for me, who now is a pretty good editor, I'd like to thank Linda for everything she's done for us, for me personally, and for hand weaving in general. She's put it on the map. She has developed a wonderful community of people who know how to share, who are very giving with things that they learn to do. They'll teach someone else. It's a beautiful, beautiful organization that she's put together. Even Interweave Press, the organization there, women could bring their babies to work. I mean, it's a very honest, friendly organization. And so I really want to say thank you. Good wishes. And I was in Lhasa this summer. I was working in China, and I was in Lhasa, and I brought back a hata for Linda. This is a scarf. They're woven by the millions, but it's a scarf of greeting and blessing, and Wheezy Bradley has that. And she also has a prayer flag that Linda can hang up. And every time the breeze blows, the Tibetans believe that it says prayers and it sends blessings. And I wish those for Linda. And I just want to say thanks, Linda, and I'll see you when I get back from Chile. So take care. Good luck with everything, and all of you have a great day today. Thanks.
Wasn't that cool? Are we getting hyped? The next person, I gave these people 2-minute assignments. They could only talk 2 minutes, so what do you choose? What choices do you make for your 2-minute speech? But I'd like to bring Deb up here, who is my weaving teacher. Her mother got very into business. She wrote for Interweave, and now she is living in Guatemala, making other contributions, and I want to heartily welcome Deborah Chandler.
It's so cool to be here.
You have to speak into the mic.
I'll say it again, it's so cool to be here. And I reminded myself 50 times that this is not about me seeing you, this is about Linda. I also want to say, Jane said I could have 3 minutes.
Oh, I
She did, and she said that a long time ago. And I've been thinking about this all year. And the only thing I could possibly say in 3 minutes, I decided was how I met Linda in the first place. And so in 1976, which was 35 years ago, I was out at my parents' ranch where I was working then, and I was in the house, and my sister Cece came in, and she said, "Oh, Linda Ligon's out in the barn talking to Mom, if you want to meet her." Out the door. I'd been wanting to meet her for a while. And so I went out there, and I was outdoors, walking down the driveway, and it was, I don't know if it was summer, but it was a warm season anyhow. So the barn door was open, and there was just a screen door, and I could hear them talking. And at that time, there was a show on at the Ligon Museum that the Northern Colorado show did, the Northern Colorado Guild did. And I heard Linda saying, "Oh, well, Louise, you know how I am. She said, "I love everything until I have some reason not to." I've been smitten ever since. I mean, before I got in the door, I had fallen in love with her. And it astonishes me all these years later that for all of the major screw-ups that I have done and huge gaffes, she still is willing to be my friend. And I'm more grateful for that than you can imagine. So, that's it, Linda. That's probably my 3 minutes.
We brought her in from Whidbey Island to do this for us.
This is not my forte. I think you have to press yes, but you close it. Here, so I'll try
They
again.
told me to.
Okay, let's see. Press yes. I know, I told you to, unfortunately. This is the power button. And see, I press this. They did it. Oh.
Thank you. Thank you.
But I might have turned it back on, I just don't.
We don't need it again.
No, I know, but I pressed it after it did that, so I just, that's good.
Okay, one and only Madelyn, who's done a wonderful job at handwoven, and she stayed with us last year. We had such a blast just talking about editors and being editors, and I told her how lucky she was, and she didn't really know that there is life after being an editor, and it's a wonderful life. Even though being an editor is also really, really wonderful, there's nothing wonderful about deadlines. And I don't miss them, and she won't. And pretty soon she's going to be liberated from those deadlines. But we're really happy you're still the editor, so you can still talk to us today. Welcome the wonderful Madelyn.
actually, the next editor is much more technological than I am, so there'll be fewer gaffes of that nature. I can remember Marilyn Murphy doing the first PowerPoint I ever saw in my life, and I thought, oh man, that looks so hard. And it still looks pretty hard to me. I thought that I get 3 minutes too. If she got, I thought, especially none of it counts yet. Now it will count. Since Deb talked about how she first met Linda, I thought I would say how I first met Linda. I became a weaver in 1981, and I love about weavers that we all know our birth dates as weavers. And I think I'll remember that when I'm in the nursing home more than I'll remember my actual birth date. So Linda's been in my weaving life since the very beginning, always as a guiding star, a guiding light, a rising star, all of that. But I took a workshop from her, a seminar from her in Dallas in 1984. And I signed up for it because I had, so this is like, I've been weaving 3 years and I'd written an article that was published. And I thought, this is what I'm going to do, publish articles. So I took a class from Linda that was, I stand by Nora Ephron as a person who remembers nothing. So I could be completely wrong about what I'm about to say, but my memory of this workshop, seminar was, there were like 75 people in this seminar, taking a seminar on how to publish or how to write for handwoven. Maybe, I don't know, that was it. But I was there to learn how to do that. And we came in, and my memory is that on each chair there was a magazine. Now these magazines were not weaving magazines. They were like Sports Illustrated, Time, Men's Health, Men's Muscles things. And we were supposed to, I think maybe we met in a group or maybe not, but we were supposed to decide who the market group was for this magazine. And that seemed like a concept beyond, absolutely beyond my capacity. I had no interest in what the market group was for Men's Health or Sports Illustrated. I didn't get the point at all. I should have, because in a very recent editorial retreat, we determined the market group for handwoven. And that was a weaver named Sherry, who lives in San Diego. She's 55. She has 2 children who are now just getting out of college. She has a little money to spend and a bedroom to use as a weaving studio, and we need to get her. And so I agreed that that was the way to approach handwoven, when my real idea was to just put everything in handwoven that I loved to weave. And so Linda was right, and that's how handwoven is marketed. I just want to say one other little thing, which is that she has incredible capacity for amazing breadth of character. Like Liz Gibson and I frequently talked about this. I remember nothing about this too, in the same sort of way, but sort of like this, where we would go, we'd be working on something and working, and then we'd say to Linda, finally we'd say, okay, we're ready to do blah, blah. And she'd say, well, that's a really dumb idea. And we'd go, well, it was your idea. And she'd go, this is really true. And she'd go, well, okay, but it was a dumb idea. And I admired both the honesty about the idea all the times and the capacity to sort of turn on a dime and do things that were right and get rid of the things that weren't right to do. So thank you, Linda.
Thank you, Madelyn.